One.
Welcome to the Grandmaster Level Show. Today on the show, we've got Spartan Grown, Charlene Paul, and BC Bubbleman. Marcus is going to be about 5 to 10 minutes late. He's just getting back from Whistler. So we're ready to do this. What's going on, Spartan? How was your week?
I've had a pretty good week, man. Pretty good week. I want to shout out. I just saw Modern Genetics was in chat, and he said that his Spartan pukes are doing great. So I love hearing that feedback from people. Um, but yeah, until this end of this week here, with Friday, Saturday, it's just been cold, snowy. I still got lucky where I'm sitting in Michigan. I'm in Jackson, so pretty much at the border where it was starting to get pretty deep and worse off to the north of me. Everything pretty much north of Lansing got hit pretty good. Sounds like so. I'm thankful, even though I'm still covered in a little bit of snow, probably 4 to 6 inches or so. Uh,
Yeah, there's
Cold.
there's like a crazy cold spell here. Like it's
Same
just
here. It's really cold. You guys are colder than us, actually. Surprising.
like it's colder than it normally ever is. It's weird. Yeah, it's totally wild. How about you, Charlene? Is it extra cold for you too?
Oh yeah, it's in the negatives, and then with the wind chill, it's even more negative. Like last night, it was -16, and lots of snow, power outages. I picked up a cold, and yeah, it's just real shitty over here.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of that. I had somebody go into my watershed on my other property and like purposely unscrew the pipe so it would start leaking. And, it's probably been leaking for a week and I had no clue. Like I know that somebody did it, though, for sure, because it's not going to come, a union's not going to come loose on both sides
Yeah.
like that. It can loose when it was tight. I have a pretty good idea who it was. But anyways, I was dealing with that. And yeah, man, like we had to winterize a couple different things because it doesn't normally get this cold. Um, yeah, it's insane. It's definitely not normal temperatures here.
No, and it went from like 40 to 0 overnight. It was crazy. Like I have the
Yeah,
heater on 80 and I'm cold. It's crazy.
I see people saying -45. Yeah, Edmonton, oh, like Alberta, oh, it is, and back east, oh, it's getting insanely cold. So, what do we have up for this week? Well, the title of this show was Migro Blocks Me, and I was pretty disappointed about this, guys. I was waiting. I didn't want to have to make this video or even say this, but I was waiting a while because I thought he was going to come around. Because I've had a lot of people ask me, well, you said you were sending him the board. Why isn't he testing it? And, 2 days ago, somebody left a comment asking me, is Shane refusing to test your light? And I said, yes. And then today I noticed I was blocked by Shane on YouTube and I was pretty disappointed. I've had 5 videos there where we paid a minimum of 2,000 euro per video for each test. And to know that we're being suppressed from getting our test is pretty disappointing, man. So yeah, you have to pretty disappointed about it. I got an email from him, which I posted, that said that he didn't want to test our lights anymore. And, we've had a bit of issues with his testing. Like going back from my very first test that I ever tested with the tarantula long leg. It scored 2.68, but it was drawing 15 more watts than it should have. And, on our very first 2 tests, I didn't really know better to really complain about the wattage because I was still learning about things. But then when we sent the Vulcan Nitro, we did quite a bit of extensive testing before we sent it out on camera. And he tested it with the white channel and with the far red channel turned on separately. And they scored the exact same score. And I refuse to accept something that's impossible to get. And I'm going to break it down for people because you might not understand it. Your white channel is always going to be way more efficient. The 730 nanometer is the least efficient diode, so it really hurts your efficiency. And even that small driver that powers the 730 actually really hurts your efficiency also. So if you have that light turned on, the white channel is always going to score higher. It's impossible for the other one to score higher. So I got a result of both of them with the same score, and I
Right.
demanded
When you have one that's supposed to have both channels on and one that only has one channel on, and you have the same score, that should automatically tell you
well,
there's something going on.
that's why I got him to retest the white channel, and it scored lower than the first time he did it, which, it didn't really make sense to me or whatever. And we just went with it. And, whatever, I thought, like I had to actually send him a power meter. I bought him a brand new power meter and sent it to him though, because we tested it on camera. We tested it with a power meter, and then we sent him a brand new power meter. So it's been frustrating that every single test that I've had to fight about the wattage, because like if the wattage is higher than it should be, it really hurts your test. But the simple fact that we're paying $2,000 euro and he doesn't want to test our lights is complete bullshit. And like, he shouldn't be testing anybody's lights. He has no business testing anybody's lights if he's going to pick and choose and charge that. And he has no business being upset at me for demanding that he test it properly after giving me impossible results. So anyways, we're kind of putting our foot down there. And like, someone asked me if he was refusing to test my light, and I wasn't talking badly about him. All I said was yes. And then to be blocked over that is absolutely ridiculous. So it is what it is, and I want to get it out there. I'm hoping that he comes around. I'm hoping that it was someone that works for him that did that, and he's going to apologize about it, because it is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think he should be able to pick and choose. Either you test all or you test none.
Well, if you're going to charge $2,000 a light, you damn well better use good equipment. And if there's a problem with it, you don't get offended if someone wants to make you retest it because they know that there's a problem with it. So anyways, and like, here's another thing that I had a little bit of an issue with. The Tarantula Tent Ultimate is the world's most uniform light. It's the most uniform light in the history of his channel and the world. And when he tested it, he wasn't excited at all. He's just like, just watch the test and then watch a recent test of him testing something that's got possibly the worst uniformity in the world, getting excited about it. So it's kind of just disappointing to, it is what it is. And I understand if he continues to test our lights, we're going to be ranked number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on his list. And I understand, but you better stop testing people's lights, or not just pick and choose when you're charging, is how I feel anyways.
Yeah, I agree. It's just bad business.
Yeah. Anyways. So anyways, that besides that, we're really excited. We're a 2-week countdown from really unleashing 3 new fixtures.
Is he the only tester out there?
Oh no, there's lots of people that test, but it's a bit of a conflict when the tester owns a competing company of ours. It's not like I really consider him competition, because his lights are like a lot. They're just not the same kind of level as ours, but still, like when you're selling lights and testing other.
Just the most well-known tester.
Yeah, he's definitely the most the most popular for sure.
But the best test is a sphere test. I mean, that's where you have a third party that has no skin in the game. Like Gmail's saying that there's scientists that at Light Lab, they're not selling lights or anything like that. And they'll test any light that you send to them, it's third party. And yes, it's not as representative as a par footprint for sure. But if you, as a customer, want to have some kind of standard for a light that you can compare this number to that number when I'm looking at lights, I think the only trustworthy test out there that I can put my stamp of approval on is going to be a sphere test, independent sphere test, or DL testing,
Well, the thing is I actually believe the testing he does show some value, because you will get.
I agree, but I also don't believe his tests are unbiased.
Yeah, well, you need somebody that's going to be doing it doesn't have anything, that's not also selling a light that you're competing against. And like, I can understand that he had made a 5x5 tent 5 days before before he did the review on ours, and that him not getting excited about ours. But it is what it is. Marcus, brother, how was Whistler?
It was fucking awesome.
So sick. Like boarding the whole day, or were you, like, is that
Yeah. Then I poached the pool at the West End. We've got a pretty good little system where I can get my whole family into the hot tub pool, sauna, steam room situation.
Oh, so sick.
Yeah. It was minus 25 in the village, but at the top of the mountain, it was about minus 10. It's called a weather inversion, and it's awesome. Like, I can't even believe how good it was.
I haven't been in a long, it's been 2 years since I went, but I stayed at the Fairmont, and we had such a fun time in that pool that goes indoor and outdoor. You familiar with it?
Yeah. The Fairmont has one. The Weston has an even better one. It's bigger, and it goes from inside to outside as well. A couple hot tubs, sauna, steam room, all of it. It's just so good, dude.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
If you let me share my screen for half a second, I'll throw up a couple of shots from the day.
Okay, there we go.
It was a good day, man. It was a good day. Let's see. Little mountain shots here. Look at that. Crazy glacier, Blackcomb insanity.
Oh, that's beautiful, man.
Oh,
Isn't
that is
it?
pretty- That's
It
It doesn't
is.
even look real, man.
I know, it just looks like there's so much. Is it all
Yeah.
nice powder too?
Oh yeah, there was tons of powder. This is Seventh Heaven we're looking at right now.
Oh,
So
I'm
there was
very
there was a
familiar with
nice,
that one.
yeah, very nice powder down. There's the Inukshuk there on the right, and Seventh Heaven Express. I had to take a picture because it looked so cold.
So sick.
That's my little dude. That's ski school. It was my son's first day of ski school, so that's kind of what brought us up there. We don't use, otherwise, I don't know if we go up on Saturdays very often, but they
Does-
take the kids for 8 hours, and you don't see them. Like you drop them off at like
Wow,
8:30,
8
and
hours.
Go pick
That's
them up at
cool.
like 3. Yeah, it's like school. It's awesome.
Yeah, I bet you
Is
they
it
went
like-
fast.
One teacher per kid?
One teacher per like 8 kids, but it was so cold today that they didn't. I think 3 of his little mates didn't show up, so he just had like maybe 4 people or 5 people in his class today.
And he hasn't ever boarded, or is he just, or he does ski? He's learning skiing first.
He's been skiing for 7 years, and he's
Oh.
9 years old.
Oh, okay. So-
Yeah. He shreds like double blacks.
Oh, okay. So he's like super experienced compared to the other kids.
He's well. The school, the class that he's in, all has kids at his level. They're all.
Oh,
He had like 3 girls and a boy. They were all awesome.
oh, okay. I was kind of picturing when you first said it, like people are learning. I'm like, man, that's got to be tough with 8 kids with one teacher. Obviously advanced.
It blows me away, to be honest. It blows me away. But I guess cost wise, to do a private feature, it's like, I don't know, $400 or $500 for the day.
Crazy.
Very expensive. Very expensive.
It is.
I'm
it
so
is.
excited to have a dab with you guys.
Yeah, is it going to be Death Bubba here or what? What are we smoking?
You know what? Right now, I'm going to smoke this strawberry lemonade. I'm just finishing up a little gift that a friend gave me. I did get a little bit of some new full melt from my lab when I was there the other day. This is Grease Bag Mac.
Nice. What's the
Beautiful.
terps like on that?
It's really nice, man. It's like you can definitely like it's a beautiful outdoor organically grown flower. So right off the bat you can smell that it's outdoor, but not like in a bad way. It's doesn't have a super loud nose, but when you actually smoke it, I mean it's Mac. Mac is so dominant in anything
love
that you
Mac,
cross it with.
yes.
So I love Mac too, man. Some people don't love it. I don't know what their
I love
fucking
it,
problem is, but
I think I'd like it in an extract, like for smoking it when in a joint wise. Like to me, it's the opposite to what I'm used to, I guess. Like it's just not. But I think in an extract, like I think I would like it way better personally. Like it's not.
like a
I don't. It's not like
concentrated version. Is the
it's not like
flower just not strong enough for you, or what is maybe the
I haven't
taste
got to
isn't
smoke my
there, or-
own flower, so like the Mac that I'm smoking, it's just not clean enough for me to enjoy it. So that's kind of the problem.
Oh yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So like the smell itself, it reminds me of this like gorilla bubble that this guy Uncle Reefer used to really grow a lot. Like it's got a hint of it in there, but I think in an extract or like very clean, I would like it. I just like from the ones I've smoked, like how can you like smoking something that doesn't burn clean? Like that's
Yeah,
harsh
yeah.
in the throat. But,
That's like when the guy at Kobe mixes the shrimp in with your fucking rice, and you're like,
well, it was in slow motion. I saw it happening
Actual
fucking
time.
30 minute before it happened.
Oh man, you brought up the PTSD and everything there, Marcus.
It's crazy.
He's having flashbacks
He
right
says
now.
it
as
was
we
in
speak.
slow motion.
It had happened to me again since all this, since I told you about it. I went there again and got it went. So right away, he's like, oh, this guy's allergic. Sorry, man. I got to cook his shit first. Like, basically, and blaming me to everybody. Like, everyone's looking at me like, oh, okay, thanks a lot, buddy. I'm like, you could have cooked everybody's veggies, their beef and chicken at the same time, buddy. So he did the same thing. He cooks everything for me. And then I got fried rice and he starts cooking his shrimp on the other side and pulls the same shit on me. And I saw it happening, but I was like, nah, because he right away. I said, no.
Clearly,
I'm like, as long as you use another one, I'm
The guy-
fine with it. I'm like, I'm totally fine with it. And he pulled it over, and then he tries to wipe it and then use it. And I was just like, oh my goodness, man. Anyways, it's kind of funny.
he's not on Team Grandmaster, dude. That's a fucking HDL fucking bunker. Gotta
Mark,
go to Grandmaster restaurants.
it's been happening a lot lately. But anyways, I think next time we're just gonna do Joey's, man. You always suggested Joey's. So they got
Can't go wrong with Joey's, man. I'm so glad to have that dab, man. Did not have enough dabs today. Let me tell you. You know what that dab tasted like? Another one.
Another dab.
It tasted like another one. It absolutely did. I think that's in order.
Well, you got to
What
follow
are you
those
guys
orders.
doing
when you get
tonight?
'em.
I'm surprised you didn't have some sort of mini dabber with you. Or I guess the Puffcos are too big to bring with you.
Well, no, of course I did. I had two. I brought my Carta, of course.
Oh, that's nice.
Always got the Carta on the mountain. And then I also brought, just because, my son's on the mountain and it's a ski school, I find this to be a very debonair puff,
I love it. The proxy.
Yeah, a little proxy action. Shout out to Puffco. Shout out to Focus V. Two great companies. I'm a big fan of all of these electronic devices. Not for every single dab or rip that I take. If I'm at home, of course, I'm going to dab out of my glass pipe with my dab right and everything that's all lined up. But man, it's hard to beat. Actually, this one was pretty cool. When I first got this one, I've been given a ton of different things like this, but this one's called the terp pen.
Okay.
Right? The terp pen. And
Okay.
it's as simple as popping off the magnetic tip. And then it's just got a little ceramic unit and there's no button. You pull.
Oh, so it's a straw. Okay.
You pull and it just starts. You can like dip it into dab jars. It's kind of like a what do you call those, nectar collectors or whatever. And I've had a variety of these things, but I had to say, like, this one, what a nice little tool to have. People ask me all the time, what's the best? What's the best tool? It's like, well, I have probably 45 of them here in my office. And the best one is the one that works for the situation that you're in right now. That's the best one, hands down.
You know what? The next upgrade I want to get is those little hot knives. The ones that you put the button in, it melts it right off of the knife. Oh, I want that.
Yes. So that's Puffco has one. I think Puffco calls theirs the hot knife. This thing.
Yes.
Yes.
I just got one of those life-changing.
But
They're so cool.
Focus V has these ones. They're called the Saber. It's substantially bigger. It's not as like
big as hell.
but just wait, dude. This is where he fucking wins the contest. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2,
nice.
3. There it is.
Oh, nice.
Dude, for nighttime dab,
Yeah.
when you can't see the bowl at all,
Or maybe
suddenly this is like, I'm like, dude.
I'm not endorsing those people, but if you're in a parking lot parked and not driving in a dark car, that would be fucking killer.
Dude, I'm telling you, these are both great. They are game changers. I still love, this is a Mystic Timber that they did for Legends of Hash, which is awesome.
So cool.
Beautiful little piece. Really, I love the family vibe. I love that they're all making it together and there's that vibe of the handmade. It's, polar opposite from this. I like this too, but I will say this, no problem for a banger terp slurper. I wouldn't want to put this into my Puffco or my Carta because now I've got to like hold it at the bottom and wait for the whole blade to heat up before whatever's on there melts off. And if I'm hitting full melt, it takes even a little bit longer before it melts enough to release it onto the bottom. Whereas these, it's just like push that button and it's like
it just drips right in. Yeah.
Dripping from the heavens, my friend.
Now, is there any
first
way
time I saw it for Growly had one of those, and I was like, "Oh man, dude, that is so cool."
They're worth it.
Is there any way of having full melt and loading it into a pen and smoking it that way, or not?
No, not really, because you need viscosity for a pen to really work. Unless you're talking about the kind of pen that you open up and it just has a coil. Yeah, you could do that. But if you're talking about cartridges, which I think you are, you need to get that resin into a state or a phase that is complementary to the technology. And so first, full melt bubble, at room temperature it's hard. Like you can kind of poke it and you can hold it in your hand, right? So you need to get it into an oil. You need to ideally decarboxylate it so it's not going to crystallize inside the pen. But who knows? Maybe the technology will be here one day. You can put hash right into a cartridge.
Yeah, for me, I'm just like, I'm thinking about, I can get a nice setup for my house and my office and everything, but I want something that's nice and clean and easy that doesn't make a mess to be able to do it and quick. Yeah, I don't know.
That's what, when I got that hot
for sure.
knife,
Well, I'll tell you,
that hot knife really made it so much cleaner and easier for sure.
Oh yeah, that right off the bat is a game changer. I think the pipes are, you could talk to one person, Thomas, and they could say, "Oh, I hate those fucking pipes. They're useless. They break super fast. They get super dirty." But these are people who are trying to take like quarter-gram dabs through these little electronic pipes. And if you look at the pipe, inside the bowl, at the top of the bowl, you can see, I'm sure, you can see the holes at the top of the bowl, right inside. That's where the air is pulled through. So if you put too much oil in the bowl and you suck really hard, tons of oil goes into the back end of the coil, and eventually it destroys the coil. It can happen pretty fast if you're smoke. So the key thing for these things is there really is a proper size dab, and if you go over that and you're pulling really hard and you're loading the carb, that's making the oil jump around like crazy, and you'll fuck it up faster. It'll be dirty, it'll be shitty, it'll be harder to clean. I haven't cleaned this one in a while. Let me see what it looks like.
I had somebody bring me a Puffco.
So here's the bottom. How's it going, Poopy?
Pretty good. Yeah, they are a bitch to take apart. They are not made to be serviced. The whole silicone overmold over the plastic shell where the battery and all that part is, you have to tear into that with a tool. It's not good. You don't want to have to try.
Well,
fix
you
this.
don't want to go into here. Like all you
It
have to
is,
do
but-
is spin this off, and this is all just the battery, and it's relatively easy. But if you're trying to get into this thing, holy shit, dude, that is.
Oh, I did.
wouldn't be
It
bad.
took an hour or two.
Holy shit. I'd fucking call Sam up and be like, "There's something wrong with this thing. You need to send me a different one, and I'll send you this one back." He'd be like, no, don't send it back. Just
Marcus, there's
customer
a lot
service,
of
man.
there's a lot of debate in chat right now. They're asking about a strain named Hash Church. Is there a strain named Hash Church and what it is? Can you tell us about it?
It certainly is. Absolutely, I can tell you about it. Naturalbornsmokers.ca. Okay, so that's my buddy Mark. He called me up. This is how I met Mark, actually, when I say my buddy Mark. He's a Canadian guy, really nice, just wholesome dude. Has a couple of super beautiful dogs, those ones with different colored eyes and just incredible coats that look surreal. Those kind of medium sized. They're kind of like a border collie on acid or something.
Yeah.
Just like
Like
I
an
love them,
Australian
whatever
Shepherd.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, man.
So he hits me up one day and he's like, well, what is the debate that's in the chat right now before I tell the story?
If
Well,
there's
what-
a strain, or if they're confusing a strain with your hash church, basically.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
there is a
no,
strain,
yeah,
where
so
they
then
can go.
this story.
And then they were interested in
Perfect.
the
So this is
lineage
it.
of the strain and if they could get seeds
Yeah.
or genetics of it.
Okay, I'll go through that the best that I can. So yes, absolutely, there is a cultivar called Hash Church. Maybe I'll share my just because this will make it easy. So this is my friend Mark. He hit me up one day. He said, I got a beautiful cultivar. I want to name it Hash Church. And I was kind of like thrown aback a little bit. I was like, whoa, like that's my name. And he was like, yeah, it's just a beautiful, it's this one right here on the left, by the way. This is Hash Church.
That is
Sweet
beautiful.
early pine, floral, and lemon. Like that is beautiful. Look at all of this guy's cultivars. I think we went through them a week or two ago. I showed some of these. So he sent me basically this, right? Like he sent me this, some flour, and he said, "Here, run it, make some hash." So I made some hash, and it was really beautiful, melty, caramelly, like just really nice hash. And I got back to him, and I kind of was like, you know what, dude? Like, I don't own the name Hash Church. Like, you know what? Of course, you can name your cultivar Hash Church. If it looks like what you sent me, then we're good to go. I think it's a fine representation of the concept of what Hash Church was all about, which was just like super heady, right? When you think of like an incredible online cannabis chat going on, Hash Church was at the highest level of headiness, as is that flower right there. So he ended up sending me genetics, and he said he does freeze dried candy. He sent me a bunch of that. I mean, shit, I bet you I have something from him. Yeah, of course. I have something from him right here. So he just sent me this, and these are some seeds as well as his catalog. And so let's see what he sent me here. He sent me okay, you know what I got to show you to give you an idea of who this guy is? I can show you who this guy is. He sent me clones of the Hash Church. And let me show you how he prepared the clones for shipping to me here in Canada. This is fucking crazy.
Is he
As
lagging?
long as I can find them. What's that?
Is-
Sorry, Tom.
No, I was just asking, is Marcus lagging for anybody else? For me, he's like in slow mo, like he's like a couple seconds behind. Is it for anybody else when he's speaking or not? Or like a
No,
sec?
it seems fine
Oh.
to me.
Okay. I'm getting a like a
So
lag.
this is one of the tubes that he sent me. Right? Like, can you fucking believe this
That
shit? Look at
is
this.
dope, man. That is
Dude, are
dope.
you fucking kidding me, bro? He sent me clones in these, dude.
That'd be
I was
sweet
like,
tattoo, man.
who the fuck? This is tattoo art, 100%.
Yeah.
Look at this one. Look at this one, dude.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's cool.
Dude, and
That is super. Just on PVC tubes or something. That is dope.
exactly. But now check this out. He drilled in LED lights so that they never got dark. I was like,
Nice.
I'll be honest. I was moved. I thought, you know what? This is a quality person. I am allowed to, when I find a person like that, or when they find me, I was like, this is a person who should be helped and facilitated and promoted. So he's super trustworthy. If you go to Natural Born Smokers Genetics, nbsg.ca, and you want to support a Canadian guy, he's got a gentleman in BC, which I'm sure he'd give you the contact. If you're anywhere else in the world other than Canada, this guy in BC is the distributor for them, but he's trusted by Mark, by the Natural Born Smoker. And yeah, even his like seed labels and stuff are just like, so that's Jumpin' Jack, whatever. You see the church, the evil
Nice.
clown
Yeah.
over the church,
I
dude?
see that. Yeah.
This one is Hash Rocket. Like, that's kind of extreme when you think about it. Like, for graphics, for like your seed packs, that's pretty baller.
But that's
I think
that's
they're
cool.
everything he does is so good. This is the Hash Express. And I'm guessing it's a train if it actually, there we go.
And those
weird
look like just
skull
stickers on the
right
outside
there.
of the pack, so you could be really careful and pull those stickers off and make like a little scrapbook as you grow each one.
They
and
are
stick
for
it in there.
sure. And there's that La Suega.
Dope.
So he's a sick artist too himself.
I don't know if he's like connected to someone that's doing this art. I've never heard that it's him personally doing it, but either way, everything that he has an air of quality and of the bar being set like extra high. And I just love folks like that. I think they're so good for our industry. And if you can find people out there that are like inspiring you, they're sharing education with you, they've given you so much more than you could ever have asked for. I mean, really, the least you can do is support their company if you need something that very company is selling. People ask me for genetics all the time lately, and I don't keep my finger on the pulse as to who's selling what and how they're selling it and who can be trusted, because it is a seedy business and people get burnt all the time. but I trust Mark. And when I tell someone to go buy his genetics, I know that A, they're going to get a better deal than they think, and B, which I think is the most important thing, being extremely happy with the seeds that you crack, because there's nothing more disappointing than donating 3 months of your time to genetics that are a big letdown. That's why when people used to say, "Hey, dude, here's some free seeds, like roll them out," I'd be like, no thanks. I need to know how good these seeds are. I can't be taking risks with, I popped these in my closet, bro. I had a hermaphrodite. You should try them.
I know. I'm the same way, man. Like, it would be so hard for me to even just try something else. Like, I'll try a cut of it first and confirm what it is. And I can
Sure.
understand. It gets, when you're used to something, it's hard for change if you haven't seen it, or your program's working really well and you're doing something really nice that everybody likes. You don't want change. Like,
Yeah.
it was the same thing for me, even to try LEDs. It's kind of funny because I remember
Of course.
there
Of
was,
course it was.
I'm trying to remember the name of the brand. It was this Chinese brand, and I was literally begging them to sponsor me with a light, and I couldn't even believe it. They didn't want to. I saw Envy Closet Med Grower had got sponsored with this light.
Is
I'm
it
trying to think
Mars
of the name.
Hydro?
It's gonna, huh?
Is it Mars Hydro?
No, before them even, or not before them, but it was a different one. I'm trying to think of what the name was. No,
Dude,
Mars.
I bet you I have it in my
Yeah.
rafters because, dude, all those companies sent me LEDs.
Yeah, it was like a
And
2-inch, 3-inch thick
I
one.
think that's what turned me off of LEDs, bro. When I saw yours, the first time I opened the Tarantula Borg, I'll be honest, Thomas, once again, because I'll put you right up there with Mark, your mental illness and my mental illness like click very nicely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have very particular brains. The way we think is very particular. It's not the way everyone else thinks, dude. Let me tell you that right off the bat. And so I appreciated that about you. And when I saw that light, when I opened that light, I was like, this is a really good product. Like the sturdiness and the heaviness of it and the caliber and the quality. Like dude, I get a lot of shit, bro. A lot. And more often than not, I'm disappointed. And I have like 10 LED lights in my rafters that are absolute and complete and total junk. And I call them paperweights, but they literally weigh 42,000 times more than a paperweight.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of this name because it's gonna come to me. It was so funny because I can remember literally begging the guy to give me one. I'm like, if it's good, I'll buy more. I remember saying that, but he
Oh my God.
didn't want to give it to me. That's just kind of
How
fun.
come?
Yeah,
That's good. That was part of your journey, dude. Aren't you glad you didn't get that light? I can tell you what you would have done with that light. You would have experienced great disappointment.
Probably.
No, trust me, I did. And I can almost promise you that I had that light because I have like at least 6 or 7 of them, all from the companies, that were at that time. Definitely a Mars Hydro. I definitely got one from them.
I was gonna say I even got them like before I was even on social media. This is actually when I had this huge grow in Abbotsford. This guy, they were $2,000. This guy had came with a video, and they cost $2,000, and they had like video. It was on a DVD or CD that we could watch the actual like pictures of the different stages, but the technology wasn't there. We tried it was like a disco light, and like nothing would dry out. We tried adding heat. I remember it was crazy. We tried way before the time, before it was ready. I'm actually really
Now,
excited.
when did they pop? Like when did LEDs really pop? Like people were like actually producing good quality products.
2000. Well, I don't know. Like they didn't really get to the proper efficiency till about 2019. Like they were horribly inefficient. I think there were still some ones, but they didn't have like a proper
You
spectrum.
called it.
Yeah.
I went and filmed in Montreal 5 years ago. It would have been that very year. And it was the nicest crop I'd ever seen grown with LEDs. And it was my friend Neil who introduced us to that group out in Quebec, Montreal.
Yeah. I remember. Okay, I remember.
Yeah. So he's a really quality grower. And they had the LEDs weren't even like they weren't even a company yet. They were thinking of making these lights to sell, and this was one of the R&D crops that they ran it with. It's yeah, I have I'll throw it in the chat room if you guys ever want to check it out.
It's kind of insane how things have evolved over the last few years, because when I first came onto this scene, it was an efficiency war. That's all that mattered, really. Whoever had the most efficient light was the winner. It was kind of ridiculous too. Because they were so kind of close, and it just blows my mind that back then everybody could have easily stepped it up and made more made lights that are way more efficient. They just didn't. They could have added more diodes, and it's just kind of funny how we got in this crazy efficiency war, and now it's like the whole LED market has kind of changed, and it's more about quality. People want quality and diversity over efficiency. And it's not like you don't have to sacrifice efficiency. Like the second you get over 2.7 micromoles per joule, it's like, or 2.8, you really have pretty legit efficiency. It's not, anyways,
I think it's because we've gotten the technology of the LEDs themselves that has gotten so efficient. So like efficiency is no longer really a huge difference between one to the other. They're fairly close. Back in the day, they could be way far apart. So now you have to have
outcome is all that matters.
Efficiency.
But
yeah, now it's like everybody's got.
It allows me to manipulate.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just saying, now everybody's got kind of like a decent efficiency. So it's like, okay, so that's not something to even. I mean, yeah, look at it, but that's something that not to really focus on anymore. Now it's like, okay, efficiency is decent. Now what's your spectrum look like? How many watts are you pulling?
Exactly. Can I manipulate my plant at different stages to make it do different things?
Exactly.
And not only that, to be able to test your plants, and this is, again, I'm going to stress, is the biggest advantage if you're a commercial grower or you're growing for money. Having a test room where you have curtains down so there's no cross contamination of light, and you're testing 4, even 6, or our lights can, our board can do 500 spectrums, do 6 completely different spectrums, just way different ratios of blue, red, and green. And then look at your final result, and whichever one, you'll be able to see immediately one of them is going to be the best, or 2 of them are going to be very close with similar characteristics. But then once you have those spectrums, then you can work on manipulating those by changing them for an hour or 2. There's just so much R&D. It's just pretty exciting. It's just
insane.
Yeah. But I can't stress how, I've been talking to a lot of people, and I'm telling you for sure the future is spectrum tuning. If you are competing and you have one spectrum against someone that can do 200 spectrums, or can manipulate it for the strain that they're doing, they're going to win. Plus, you can come up with your own proprietary light recipes, which many people have done, with the Science LED crew. Even though it's kind of broken up, they had a whole team of different light recipes, and they were making big claims that I believe. So anyways, it's pretty exciting. Next 2 weeks are pretty big for us.
Oh, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to be able to get some of these people signed up to get this technology in their hands and in their gardens, because honestly, if you look at it, it's one of those win-win-win situations. It's great that we can get them IPN solutions. It's great that it's going to mean that there's going to be far less spraying of plants and medicine. And I mean, I think everyone here enjoys concentrates. You got to remember, when you concentrate a flower that's been sprayed, you're concentrating whatever's been sprayed on it into your concentrate, higher levels than you're getting even in your flower sometimes. So, if it's not filtered out, but so I'm just excited that it's for the whole industry. Even the people that are considered the bad players in the industry, these big, gigantic facilities full of, bugs. It makes me feel better to know that at least, they can get some technology in there to make it so that they don't have to spray pesticides on their plants, and people can get some cleaner medicine at least.
Absolutely. I forgot what I was just about to say. Someone asked about the controller. It's available now.
I think mine are due to land Monday or Tuesday. If anything, they're supposed to be yesterday, but it got rescheduled, delayed, weather, something. Monday or Tuesday, I should have them.
Oh, nice. So you still haven't got him. And I saw D-Man in chat says Grillmouse works for HLG. No, he doesn't anymore. He's not with HLG anymore. And there was one other thing. Oh, I got something exciting for everybody in Canada. If you have a medical license, I'm working on it, but it sounds like it's going to be worked out starting on the 27th. If you buy a Grandmaster LEDs light and have a medical license, you get to hit up Life Cycle Botanics and you can get a couple cuts of Death Bubba or whatever else for free. You won't have to pay anything. So if you get a light from us in Canada and you have a medical license, you're going to be able to get 2 cuts of your choice from Life Cycle Botanics.
That's
which
pretty
is
cool.
good.
Those are
It's gonna be
tissue
a pretty-
cultured cuts.
Yes, they are.
Wow.
Well, like at
valuable.
one point they were like they're completely clean. So they're
Still,
definitely
yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, that's valuable, especially for a facility.
They have an HLVD lab also, so it will give you the opportunity to. Well, I know so many people saw me grow out Death Bubba for like 8 years, and now you have access to that cut. You just have to show proof that you bought the light and proof of a medical license.
It's a good one. The hash kind of reminds me of old school hash plants, like the champagne.
The hash does from it?
Yeah.
Nice. And by the way, so Marcus on the first wash that he did, it was the bee buds, but he said it's at least a 5-star, and I still have a chance of 6-star once he tests it.
Well, I dabbed it through here, and you look at how small the holes are that the hash gets sucked into on the bottom of the dish there. Those little holes, there's 4 of them. So only like the meltiest hash can be dabbed in a slurper. You can put any old Chaz in a Grail or a big banger, but the slurpers are unique. So I would say it's between a 6 and a 5. We'll have to do more. I've only taken 2 dabs of it, dude, because honestly, I want to put this in your hand. Right? This is like jars full of like 90 micron Death Bubba.
Oh my God, my mouth is watering literally already.
Dude, you should smell it. And it came out of my baller fridge. So it's crazy that it even smells.
Yeah, dude.
Look at that.
You could tell just by his facial expressions, like how killer it is too.
Oh, it's good. This is good hash. And holy fuck, dude, this was the experimental like crop.
Yes, it was definitely awesome. It wasn't the top A buds. So I'm pretty excited. Like, yeah, he's converted me into like, and I haven't even I'm a hash snob and I've barely smoked any hash.
Well, you have a lot of hash sitting here at my house. Death Bubba, all microns, like grams and grams of each one.
How are you not there? Jim, I'll just turn the show off and be like, I'll see you guys later, man. I'll be back.
Oh, trust me, after this show, like probably not tomorrow, but on Monday, I'm coming down to Marcus's place and we're having a hash session and then we're getting set up. Who got his plants ready? I've got everything set up with BroLink. We're going to get his whole setup up and running. The clones are ready. Then I'm coming back and planting mine.
Oh.
Yeah,
dude,
it's going to be
stoked.
We're going to be having daily live streams like on Instagram and it's going to be so sick. Daily posts. It's all going to kind of start on the 27th, guys, which is still some stuff in between, but we're getting there.
Nice. Someone said in the chat, that look was the same look Johnny B got when he smelled the purple punch in the hospital. For those of you that don't know, I went with D420K to visit Johnny B in the hospital after he had massive like spinal cord surgery. So he was on the spinal cord surgery ward, which was this crazy, depressing floor of people who were all like had posts coming out of the back of their head casts and like holding them to their bed like they were posted in. It was very scary. We get there. I've got a little Pelican case with like 18 different types of pure cannabis-derived terpenes. And I'm opening them up and just wafting them under Johnny's nose while he's like, lying in bed, kind of like all fucked up after this operation where they removed part of his spine. And so we get to the purple punch and he's like in bed. He's all like kind of, fucked up. And he smells this purple punch and he goes, "That's the one. It took my pain away." He like jumps out of the bed.
Oh shit.
Literally jumps out of the bed. He's wearing like a fucking whatever, like a hospital gown. And he kind of like, I'm like, dude, we're all like, whoa, Johnny, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, calm down, bro. so excited. That's the one. It took away my pain. He's mentioned it literally like 50 times since it happened, but I'm very glad. You know what? I will also post that video in chat for those that want to see it. For you guys here, I'll post it into the Zoom. If maybe you could, Charlene, copy and paste it into Grandmaster's YouTube.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I'll post it into my YouTube. But it's a crazy video. So Johnny B.
Always loved Johnny B's
hospital terp.
passion in everything, dude. I remember
Dude,
watching Johnny B's
oh
videos
my
on
God,
growing.
dude.
Johnny B doing the first. He was the first guy I ever saw take and use the flat irons press. You know, the little hair
Yep.
straighteners.
I showed him how to do it.
Yeah, I loved it. And then that's how I found
We
out
have
about you.
videos
Was
of it.
watching him. I actually found out was watching him before I even heard about you. And then that's how I
That's
got that
awesome.
connection with you. Then I started watching you, and
That was the beauty of Johnny starting his own channel. He was bringing all these new people to the show. So that's awesome to meet you through Johnny
Yeah.
B. But check out that video. That's fucking crazy. Like Johnny B in the hospital, he's got the crazy neck brace on. Like he's just, he's a fucking wild dude, man. He's a wild dude.
He is. Yeah, he actually has a 419 event that's actually happening. He's doing an event on 419. Were you aware of that,
Yep,
Mark?
that's true.
Or
I was aware of it. He told me. I don't know about like what it's called or like the web, if there's a website or anything. I think maybe there's a QR code.
I just know it's in
But
Vancouver.
I'll find it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
Vancouver,
We'll
exactly.
be there. We'll be there. Be there for 420 and 19. And yeah, I am a hash snob. And the reason why is because like I just want to preserve my lungs. But smoked a lot. I used to smoke.
You don't
tobacco.
have to explain yourself to nobody, bro. You could have ended it at, yeah, I'm a hash snob. Period. Dot. Over.
Hey, I like that.
Enough said.
That's an American
Fuck,
attitude.
dude.
I love that.
Dude,
Yes.
that is just like the.
Hey,
you gotta
we're in
fucking
Canada. I'm not used to
understand.
expressing my feelings openly.
You mean your feeling? Your feeling?
Yeah.
You're one feeling you're allowed to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always joke at me and my buddies when we go camping. We'll always be like, "Oh man, you hurt my feeling." We're like, because it's like literally like if that guy has a feeling, it's literally only one feeling that he has. Pretty classic.
I love that, man. I love that.
Oh, water! I'm so happy.
There was a question
God
in the
bless the
chat
water.
about the controller. It does temperature as well, correct?
It does, but guys, straight up, like someone had asked me about the sensor, and like that's one thing that was just kind of like a bonus that came with it. It's not something that I'm going to say is a high quality sensor, and like yeah, like I don't want you to trust it. Like I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I don't want I would prefer someone to have a cruise temp in their room or something like that. We didn't design it for that. It's just kind of built in with it. So it's probably not very high quality. What's going to be coming probably later on this year, we're working on some major projects right now, but as soon as that's done, we're going to definitely build another controller that will control irrigation valves, humidity, like for dehumidifiers too and stuff, and irrigation valves, and it will have like a nice sensor in it too, I'm sure. That's on the to-do list. We've got a pretty big to-do list right now. Well, we're actively working on a lot of stuff right now, and we're literally going to be in the we're manufacturing stuff every single day right now, right up until the end of the month, till the Chinese New Year. And if people don't know, like in China, they have the Chinese New Year, kind of changes every single year, the dates, and it's crazy. It screws everything up completely, like from right before to like right after. But we've planned this. We planned like all our manufacturing like 2 months ahead of time, so we're okay. But most people wouldn't even be manufacturing till the end of the month. Pretty crazy.
Speaking of to do, I've been working on hanging the new lights, and god damn it, can you ever get two lights with the same mounting pattern? No, you can't. So you put your hooks on the ceiling, you change your fixture, and those hooks don't work. So you have to rip everything off, and I got a bunch of plumbing and electrical and ductwork and stuff. I have to somehow find a way to mount two of these 46-inch by 46-inch fixtures, and I'm going to be stuck to the wall on one side, and I literally have a half-inch before I hit the drain pipe on the other end of my table. So I'm going to be able to fit them both, but I got a half-inch It's gonna light past my table. It's ridiculous.
Oh, your table's not a full 48 inches?
One of the two tables is like 7.5 feet long
Okay.
because of a big cast iron drain pipe that's in the middle of the room that I can't do anything with. So one of my tables is 8 feet long. I'm fine, but the one on the other side across the room, it's going to be a challenge. But I'm there, a
you-
bunch of 2x4s, a bunch of screws.
Did you say they haven't shown up yet, or they have?
I got the lights, yes, but not the
Oh.
controllers.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, well, yeah, excited for you to get those suckers up and have a run.
Man, I'm going to mount them like you have in line instead of all parallel,
Okay.
which puts the driver in the middle. I know what you mean now. The knobs are in the center of the canopy in the middle of the light if you don't mount them 90 degrees the other way, right?
I was trying to
So-
tell you about why it's so nice to have that controller. Like, trying to do it without
Yeah.
a controller and reach up and screw and get it accurate. It's like, yeah, now you understand.
Yeah, that wouldn't fucking work.
What lights are you putting up, Poops?
The 4 lighter, I'm pulling out the Scorpions and putting 4 Borgs.
Yeah. So he's been running this strain for like 20 years, like before under HPS, and then he's run it under our spectrum, and he was running it under HLG's blue spectrum that wasn't really working out very well. So it'd be nice for him to try a warmer spectrum, or you're going to try it under 4 different spectrums, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna play with the reds across the room. There's gonna be 4 lights in a row. It'll be reddest at one end, like minus 25% all the way down the row. So more red to less red. And then whichever one does the best on the next cycle, dial that red on all 4 fixtures and play with the white. There's a million combinations to play with right now. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, like just like changing the spectrum for just a couple hours a day. We really should be reaching out and getting some people from the X Science team. Because these guys were doing this for like a couple of years, messing around with light recipes.
Do you guys use 2 pulleys to hang these big lights, or do you do a pulley per corner?
If it's not going to be like, if you have like, I definitely don't use the carabiners. Like I would definitely just use 2 ratchet straps or 4.
Like I'm doing 4, but it occurred to me earlier as I was lining things up with a laser level big mess that I don't want my pulleys perfectly vertical. I think I want them at an angle so I can shift the fixture over an inch or so to get everything centered.
Well, yeah, you can basically do either or. It just depends of how limited you are on height.
I want to get them as high as I can get them because there's all kinds of horsepower. I put a watt meter on it and dialed all 4 channels to max, and it pulls a legit 1500 watts.
Oh, no, it does. So that's the whole, it's the beauty about it is, each spectrum that you have it, or in all the presets, a lot of them are a lot higher. So you can use the higher wattage if you were trying to do a bigger area, or if you have it mounted way higher up and want to waste power.
Right. I'll never have this at full power, not even close. I think at around like the 500 to 600 watt total per light is going to be the sweet spot for my height.
I was gonna say, I consider, even though the Borg is 1500 watts, I consider it full power at 700 because there really isn't any reason to ever use more than 700 watts on a.
I was gonna say that's the most I've used it is 700.
Yeah. Yeah. Thomas Hester wants one of the new lights we're releasing. You don't even know what they are yet, but I can tell you they're super, super cool, and they're going to change the whole damn industry, basically. So sorry, I can't give up more. Oh, what I can do, Charlene, can you go to my Instagram and let's pull up that UV burn? Because I was kind of making some waves today. We posted from what my understanding is the very first picture to the public of UVC burn on a flower. And, we've been, like I said, we're really pushing things to the limit, trying to figure out how much light can a plant take of UV. Another thing that I've been kind of considering, and something that we've been noticing and talking about is, introducing UV to a plant in veg. Could that make it build a little bit of a tolerance in flower? We've also discovered that in veg and flower, it's so much different. In flower, they could just take so much more light. Sorry, what were you going to say, Poops?
Will UV make your extracts darker?
I do not think so. Well, if it's UV burnt, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be like, I had a whole bunch of other people messaging me, like trying to challenge this and say that it's not UV burn. It's kind of almost even hard to tell from the picture, but you see like the brown golden tint to it. That is definitely the
I
burn.
especially notice it towards the vein of the leaf that hasn't been trimmed off, which drives me nuts. That needs to be trimmed. But but right at the bottom of the plant, yeah. I don't know if you can see in the middle. Like if you look, let me see above the U and burn straight north of that. That's where I see it the most. Is that where you're talking?
Yeah. It's actually almost on the whole bottom. Like if you go directly in the middle and then you kind of, sorry,
Kind of
like
spreads out. Yeah.
yeah, you
I
can
see
kind of
that.
see how it spreads out to the left, and then from the middle it spreads to the right and goes up a bit, and it also goes
It
down.
looks like a sunburn. You kind of
Yeah.
almost have to squint to see it, but there's brown. It's like all over the leaves on the right, in the middle, on the left. Like you can see it. It's
Mhm.
darkened.
How do you say boyritis? Or I can never pronounce it properly. It's a
Botrytis?
Botrytis. Botrytis. Okay. So many people kept on saying, "Oh, this is for sure botrytis," and I'm like trying to say, "No, it definitely is not. It was on all of the flowers that were close to the light that we tested this on, and that's why I was like, no, it's not. It's definitely UV burn. I've never seen, like, if you Google UV burn, you can't see. Well, I couldn't find anything even close to it. And
So there's a question, how does UV burn occur on sections of the bud that are not getting direct lighting?
well, that's because it was coming from underneath, not above. And that's why I'm saying this is a new tech.
Yeah, it's funny for me to see a lot of these comments by people. It's like you guys assume so much and think you know
I know.
everything. And it's like just wait until you see the thing before you start judging things.
It's right when I posted this, Miami Mango messaged me right away, and he's like, "What?" He go, "How is that possible? How is that possible to get underneath? How is that possible?" It looks like it was kind of funny. I had so many people messaging it, and yeah, well, what we've learned, guys, that you can administrate UVC in almost a systemic way at the bottom of the plant that can then affect the whole plant. And we accidentally discovered this, and we're kind of testing it out. But we've definitely discovered that you do not need an even par of UVC to stress the whole plant, every last part of it out. It doesn't have to be. So, when our UVB and UVA bar is done, we're going to be also testing that to the limit. But it was pretty, like I said, we've discovered some stuff that there is no literature on, and we're kind of like we're writing the rules as we go along, and it's pretty exciting. It really is.
Pretty fun to test it too.
I know. Well, I'm seeing lots of people. We were talking about Migro earlier in that same post that I got blocked for responding to. There was people that had asked about UVC, and he clearly is saying, "Do not use UVC. It is bad for your plants. Do not use it." And he said it in multiple times in the post too.
Well, he also said that there's no UV in sunlight. And where do you think UV comes from, man? Yeah, it's coming from the sun, man. It releases like 5% UV coming out of the sunlight. So that's exactly where UV comes from. So yeah, he's saying some silly things.
But anyways, our team is going to get to really, well, as far as I can see, we're writing the rules on it. So it's pretty exciting. And things are going to evolve as it goes. So, each day things can evolve. What is the benefit of stressing your plants with UVC to entice higher terpenes and THC? It stresses the plant out, and they do it as like a defense, basically, from my understanding.
Like all our techniques that we use in our plants to do, we stress our plants, but we get positive effects out of it. It could be something as simple as a low stress, like a low stress training or something to shape the plant to the canopy so we get better results. Or it could be something like feeding a different nutrient at a certain time to get a fuller expression of terpenes, like a popular one in flowers, sulfur. So there's all these little tricks that we use as gardeners, and this is just we're just going into the part of using spectrum and all of the light spectrum to our advantage. What can we do with it? And not only with UV, but with spectrum changing lights and crop steering with those spectrums, using reds to get some plant elongation if we need it, to help fill out a canopy, or maybe using heavy blues in a time where we want to reduce stretching or bolting, there's all kinds of fun stuff you can do with this, and we're just excited to get into it and try it.
Yeah, well, it's going to be happening on a big level. In February, there's going to be thousands of people having them. Well, yeah, there's already thousands that are pre-sold. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. Like it really is, like, as we can see, it's the biggest change of our lives. Like growing in immunity from thrips. Like here's one thing is we are very confident it's going to work really well on a whole bunch of different stuff. But what we do know is it works extremely well on thrips and spider mites, the two biggest threats to cannabis. The two, well, there's obviously lots of big threats, but I think they're the most common biggest threats. So to have immunity from one of them and be in an over 90% better situation if they were to come, it's life-changing. It changes the game. So now you can start planning a lot more stuff that you previously couldn't plan. Like these days you can plan, you can have a backup generator if your power goes out. You can have a Pulse Pro and multiple sensors to alert you. But the one thing is you just never had that defense besides a pesticide and predator bugs. And this is just like such a stronger line of defense.
And then when you start adding in the when we get our bars for UVA, UVB, there's science out that there's beneficial uses with that too. And then when you combine all three, A, B, and C,
absolutely,
best of both worlds.
The bottom line is the data shows me that UVA isn't that valuable. But it's in, like, we have a fluorescent light that's got UVB and UVA in it. So we're going to have both. So, with our UVB and UVA, with the tarantula predator, you're going to have A, B, and C with the full spectrum.
And B has been shown to help with spider mites for sure. And some fungi, I think. I've
Well,
read some articles for PM.
There's the old owner of Gavita, I forget his name, the original owner that sold it out. He has started some light, and they have some light that's got UVB, and they're making the claim that it's definitely helping with pests and powdery mildew. But I'm not trying to really challenge it, but I know that the efficacy based off our test, that it's not even close to the same. It's like you're almost wasting your time, in my opinion, trying to do that with UVB. Your UVB, on the other hand, is extremely valuable for
but what I'm curious to see is when you put them both together, you know what I mean? What happens?
Exactly. Having that as a defense. It's just and also the under canopy.
That just bursts into flames.
But hopefully not the plants.
Shit.
Well, guys, last night I had
That's what
another
happens to them all
idea.
eventually.
I had another even idea for under canopy lighting, and it's like our design might have changed one more time, to be quite honest. Like I keep on getting new ideas that are even better. But just imagine not pruning out your bottoms and just having it beautifully lit, having it protected, and just even maximizing your tents like that. It's such a game changer. So what else we got, guys?
We got a question for Bubble Man here. How many washes do you do in your bags, and do you recommend a drill paint mixer?
Wait a minute.
I do not recommend a drill paint mixer.
I couldn't even ask Bubble Man that question.
I do not recommend that. I do not recommend that. That's a little bit of an overkill. I think the small machines do a good job. People hand stir. I mean, God, I used to do it with a small cake mixer, and it was quite effective. A drill is overkill. However you choose to do it, try not to overbeat the material. Watch my videos because they explain the process very simply. If you're putting dry material in, let it hydrate so you're not beating the shit out of dry material, which will burst into powder. And then if it doesn't have surface area to float, the particulate will sink and contaminate your hash. If you're using fresh frozen, also let it sit for a while so it doesn't start breaking open because it's so brittle and frozen. Let that soak for a bit too. And I wash it. Listen, if you don't know what you're washing, you don't know what you should be getting, you don't have a COA that tells you the percentage of cannabinoids, you're blind, I would wash it till it stopped giving me hash, or till the return was no longer worth it. Like if you were getting like a quarter of a spoon for a bag, you might be like, yeah, this isn't really worth it anymore. But until then, wash away. A lot of people believe that the process is the most delicate. Like if you're going to get the best material, the more delicate that you mix. But really, in fact, there might be some wires getting crossed, because what that's probably referring to is, what are the most mature heads that are ready to fall off right away? Because there is a process that you can make water hash where you don't isolate it with bags, but you separate it out based on maturity. So you end up in a glass sort of funnel with all these layers of hash that are kind of different colors, and you got a little valve that you can open up to release the lighter colored stuff. That's not necessarily micron size. That's like the maturity level of the hash. But if you're good at filtering hash, you should be able to mix the shit out of that as hard as you want and just filter out the heads and get all the contaminant out, and you still get a very, I mean, I wash sometimes for 3.5 hours, like a 45 wash, then we'll do like a 2-hour recirculation and then pull again. And we pull out like 5-star hash that melts into a liquid. Like I think people who do it on a smaller level can't understand that you can scale this process quite easily. And it's really just about filtering gland heads out of plant matter. That's really the whole process. And if you're able to do that and get rid of everything else, you're super stoked. But I would still not use a drill. Just me.
Not a drill on low with the zip tie just going really slow. Gotcha. I didn't realize I wasn't muted there. I was grinding everything up. I saw somebody else in chat when we were bringing up the UVC. Here's another thing I saw, and I originally saw something that gave me the idea to move forward with this, and we don't believe it's done. Well, we know it hasn't been done before because there's nobody making the same claims. You don't hear people talking about immunity from thrips. And anyways, it's we kind of got really lucky. Anyways, it's pretty exciting.
There was
Dude, I've never seen a plant be that damaged. I've never seen a crop be that damaged by bugs, thrips in particular, and then just come back and be a healthy canopy like 25 days later. It was insane.
With no markings.
People have no idea. They have no idea what's coming.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah.
There was a question, Jim, a little while earlier from Mark Oxendine. Was wondering, he's got a 730 torch, but what would you recommend for add-on bars for the 730?
Well, it depends on what he's trying to do and what strains he's growing. But ideally, if you have one of our crop stirring kits, you can do everything with it. So, depending on what the strain is, if the 2200 Kelvin bars are going to make it way warmer of a spectrum, the 450 nanometer bars are going to be a nice blue enhancer for increasing THC. But both of them, I think using the 450 and the 2200 Kelvin are definitely going to be able to up the game. What's going to allow you to crop stir with your light and just have that ability to change your spectrum.
There was another question out there. So someone's growing in a 39 by 39 by 73 tent. Will the Torch 480 be a good fit for that?
Did you say 39?
Yeah.
39?
This one says 39 by 39 by 73.
Well, the Torch 480 is 33.5 inches by 33.5 inches. So I think it's going to fit pretty good. Be a pretty nice fit.
Like a glove.
Like a glove. I mean, like for people that have shipping containers that have like an aisle down the middle, our Torch is like the best light in the world. There isn't anything else that fits better than it. It wasn't planned like that too. It was kind of a fluke because we were just doing it for a 3x3. But oh boy, does it! There's a Craft Micro. I can't think of their name, but they bought 2 of their lights and they made a post saying they're replacing all of their lights with ours. So after just testing them out for like 2 weeks, they're like, oh, we're replacing everything. So
I love hearing people when my favorite is like when they're doing their video, or they do a video or something, unveil it, and they turn it on the first time. I love the reactions.
Oh yeah.
When the screen goes bright white for a second and blacks out.
Shit. It's 7:47. Let's get this light giveaway going. Holy shit.
Damn.
Man, that flew by.
Going by real fast.
That hat flies by when you're having fun.
I'm getting high.
Mm-hmm. I picked out 2 really nice buds. But I'm looking forward to coming into town. I'm just gonna have to buy some sort of smoking device. I'm gonna have to get a Puffco. I need to get a referral from Marcus.
Puffco? Yeah, I can lend you one if you're in town for a couple of days.
Yeah, nice.
Marcus has got like
You
32.
have one to puff
I
on.
need to put in an application for sponsorship with Puffco.
I'll introduce you to them. They're sponsoring, well, I don't know. They haven't yet, but I believe they're going to be sponsoring one of our events in Spain here. We'll see how it goes.
That's awesome. Do you
Yeah.
want to talk about that for a second? What's going on in Spain? What do you got going on in Spain?
We're going to do Legends of Hash.
Are you going to do it around
third one that I'll
Spanish?
have done. Yeah, it'll be done in March around Spanish. Probably after there's so many events. I think we're thinking about doing it kind of on the 17th, the Sunday, which is kind of like the last day. People end up going home Tuesday, Wednesday. So we're going to ask people to stay at least till the 19th. And yeah, we're thinking of doing it. We're doing it with Terp's Army, with Lorenzo.
Nice. Kind of
From
a
the
good
Terp.
location. It's kind of a cool location too to be in Europe for a
Oh,
Legends
dude, if you saw the place that we're thinking of getting, you'd be like, "What the fuck?" completely insane.
Oh,
Like
put
absolutely.
the link.
bonkers.
Our Bingo Lombardi. Can you put the link for our stream in Marcus's channel so that people can come over? Because you need to type
How
in
do we
our.
get into the light giveaway? You
Yeah.
don't. No, I'm just joking. Good idea. Yeah. Post the old link into the chat there. Bingo,
I
you
don't-
gonna do it?
I don't know if it's because you
I
spent
said.
the day up at the ski resort or not, but I totally get like Jack Nicholson shining vibes from you all day, all night tonight.
You know what? That's interesting because I'm not gonna lie. I really was considering murdering my family after this. So
Oh my god! Some of the faces you've been making today too are just classic.
I thought at first you said Jack Nicholas shining vibes like he's shining, and then I thought, no, I remember the movie. It's been a long time.
Oh,
Fuck.
It's a freaky movie, man.
dude.
It totally
Give me
is.
the bat. I'm not gonna hurt you.
See, look at his face
Hurt you.
with the hair coming.
I'm just gonna bash your fucking brains in.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Michael Walker, it's only
Oh,
changed
yeah.
4 times, man. I get an idea and like we come up with something and we do all the CAD and then I come up with another idea and my team is so pissed off at me. You should see when I come up with something new how Mandy reacts. Just because we developed so many products. She gets a little frustrated sometimes, but she's been
I
pretty
remember
lately.
I remember in the past we've had a conversation, Gmail, where we were gonna let's focus on not having a ton of products so it makes it easier, and then we're releasing 50 more products.
Well, we had to make a bunch of products to really understand the market, like different products, and then we understand the market now, like in a really big way. And it's really obvious. Well, here's the thing is we have affordable, the most uniform, the most efficient, the most diverse. So we have every single option that you could possibly want, and we can see what does the best. And what's kind of funny is it's the most affordable and the most expensive took off.
Yeah, you're right.
And like people like either the very best or the most affordable that's still very good quality. Which gave us some pretty good ideas that you guys are going to see in a couple of weeks. Okay, well, you know what, guys? Or how many people we got rolling here?
What is this?
We got 215.
We got
Nice.
215. Okay, well, we absolutely fucking slayed it this last month and a bit, so we're going to give away 2 lights tonight. So we'll start off.
Oh man.
Maddie's going to fucking give me some grief, but
Just talking about how Mandy's
we
giving
gotta-
you looks.
we got to give back, guys. So let's roll it. Let's let one roll.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bam. Car bar.
Car bar.
Bar.
Master
Hey, someone
6
said they want me to
Bloom.
focus on diversity. How dare you? I'm not talking about for flying planes. We're talking about growing lights.
Are we doing 2 of the Master 6 blooms tonight?
We are. We're gonna just we'll give it another minute first, and so
All right, come on,
Chat is
guys.
insane. Oh my god. Can't even begin to try to keep up with that.
I pinned the link in the top of Bubble Man's World for those guys over there. They just have to go to the top of the chat.
Sweet. Yeah, you want to be in the Grandmaster level YouTube to be entered to win. You just have to make a comment in chat. And
yeah.
we'll
And
pick you up.
if I'm gonna choose an airline, I want an airline that's got the best pilots, that hires by skill and experience. Just
Well,
have
you
to
also
tell
want an airline that uses
I
planes that have bolts that hold too. Don't have doors that fall off and things like that.
Hey, I was leaving Barcelona one year from the Spanibus, and it was early in the morning, and it was just me and Burner, the rapper, and we were like standing in line, and there was like, you know, hundreds of people getting on a different flight from ours, but for whatever reason, he was in first class. For whatever reason, they just came up to me out of the blue and they upgraded me. They were like, "Hey, Mr. Richardson, I'd like to upgrade you to first class." I was like, "Okay, this is crazy." 5 a.m. in the morning. Didn't sleep all night, just been smoking hash. So now I'm standing in line for first class, and we get on this plane, and both flights are going to Germany. One is Lufthansa, which is my flight, and the other one is German Airbus, like a partner company. And they're both flying from Barcelona to Germany, to Frankfurt. And we get in the air. It's a pretty quick flight, a couple hours maybe. And we land, and my phone is like blowing up. And people are like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I end up phoning my buddy, and I'm like, "What the fuck's going on? What is it? Why does everyone think that I'm dead?" And they were like, "Because the other flight that left the airport, the pilot was like depressed, and he like was feeding the other pilot water till he had to go to the bathroom, and then he locked him out of the bathroom, out of the cockpit, and then he flew the plane into a mountain and killed every single person on board." And I
remember
had been
that.
standing next to those people. Holy shit, dude. That was like the closest I've
That's
ever
scary.
stood to like a mass event, you know? It's like, holy shit. Instead of being like bumped from my Lufthansa flight and put onto the German Airbus flight, they upgrade me to first class. So I'm getting upgraded to first class while literally like, I don't know, I think it was like 360 people or something that
Jeez.
perished because that guy was bummed out and was a pilot. So I agree. I also like only the best pilots, preferably ones that aren't depressed or on SSRIs.
Yeah, like that's I just remember seeing some it was like a stand-up comic just the other day, and he's doing a thing, and they're like, "Yeah, I heard that they want to bring diversity to the airlines or something like that." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "They're not hiring they're not hiring based on skill level and experience for flying planes." I was like, "Oh shit. Tell me which airline that is so I can avoid it." Jesus. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's just insane, man.
Well, there's actually stories already coming out of things that are happening like that, where people who are hiring for diversity, there's some bad repercussions when there's certain things that are like not about opportunity. They're about, are you skilled enough to execute this job that other people's safety and lives are dependent upon?
Yeah, like, and are you going to choose the best for that position? People that are just okay? Yeah, it's a little pretty dangerous.
Well, before too long, it'll be AI doing it. We'll be
Okay.
good, right?
What do you got here? 261? Is that how many you have so far?
We have
Yep.
354
In
people
about
in
4
our
minutes.
We got 262 for the giveaway.
The last couple of days we got up, or the last couple of weeks we got up there close to 400 people live. Like the olden days. Golden days are coming back, guys.
Dude, I'll tell you. When Hash Church was at its top, we do about 12 to 1,300, and it was always like, I couldn't believe it.
That's great.
You know, I was just like, how are there this many people? I mean, to me, even like 100 or 200 is still like a substantial. If they were just in front of you, you'd be like, holy shit.
Well, there's 347 people right now here. That's a lot of people.
I think that's great. Thank you
That is a lot of
guys
people.
for being here with us.
Okay, well let's roll this one more
Rock.
time.
All right, here we go. Everybody in.
Oh,
3, 2,
2,
1. E-Man.
E-Man, I recognize that. Oh shit.
Man, congratulations.
I recognize the name.
Sweet. Congrats, you guys.
oh, yeah.
So you're going to email mandy@gml.com.
No. Mandy at GML Army.
Yeah, gmlarmy.com.
Let's put it in chat and pin it. So for both of you, if you can reach out to
Pin it.
Mandy. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty sick, E-Man.
Oh,
I recognize your name. Oh man,
Yeah, that's my cousin. E-Man. B-Man and E-Man.
Nice.
Perfect. What was I gonna say? Edibles are starting to kick in, and I'm starting to fade here. Man, it's cold. I open up the window,
Yeah,
you see,
dude.
I get smoky in here, and then the green screen doesn't work. I open up the door, and it's like it's so cold out. Holy shit! Watch, it's gonna clear up really fast because it's like.
Why don't you just put a carbon filter in a
I have an outtake, man. It's so loud. I've hooked it up, and I even have it hooked up so I can turn it on from my phone. It's so loud. It just like to listen. It didn't work out.
put like a box around it with sound dampening stuff in it.
I was almost gonna put it in the room behind and then run this through with like ducting through, so I don't have to hear the sound, and so I can just click.
Put in the
it.
other room,
Hooked
yeah.
on a Bluetooth. I have it hooked up on a Bluetooth plug, so I can just turn it on and it starts.
That's
sucking.
dope.
But it's like, man, it's negative. So like I can feel it. Like I'm getting cold.
Pulls your head
Just
off
from
your
having
head.
this- See how it's getting clear? It's starting to get clear.
Dude,
Quickly.
that just looks like you're in like a big smoke effect. I can barely see you.
Yeah, there. No, it's starting to clear. So
There it goes.
yeah. Watch if I put it to a different one.
All right, I promised my son at 8 o'clock I'd be going and hanging out with him. He's been waiting for me for an hour and a half. So.
Oh, we were
big
gonna shut it
thanks
down
to the
anyway,
whole
so-
Grandmaster level.
Okay.
I
Thanks.
know. I just have to go now because it's 8 o'clock, and he's 9. He's not going to be understanding. So thank
I
you
understand.
guys.
All right,
Awesome
brother.
hanging with you, man. Thanks for
Bye,
calling.
guys. Bye.
Just gonna close this door again. Holy fuck. Freezing. Holy shit, guys. What else we got, guys? Yes, hit up Mandy. Yes, hit up Mandy, please.
I have it pinned at the top there.
Oh,
One more question. What's GML's current irrigation schedule and substrate volume? What's the best way to ramp irrigation for young plants in flower?
well, if they're talking about cocoa, I'm still learning, to be quite honest. We're gonna have GrowLink on here, and to be quite honest, this time I'm gonna let the GrowLink do everything for the whole, like, feed every single time. Last time I was letting it monitor, so I'm gonna have to be refreshed on. I don't know what the best is in every type of situation. If this was soil, that would be a different situation. Like if we were talking about Pro Mix or something, but like, definitely gonna have it. 2 sensors on every single table communicating with the valve, and every single table being fed independently. So, unfortunately, I don't have a good answer for you yet, but I'm going to be pretty damn like an open source as the crop is going along, kind of daily post showing everything. So, I'll be sharing everything from screenshots from what my GrowLink is, and we're going to have the GrowLink guys on here. Yeah.
GML, they had a comment in chat, said they need a layaway plan for people on disability. We have some sort of a plan on at least the US side, I think on the Canada side too, isn't there?
Oh, for what?
To where you can pay in payments.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Sezzle.
Yes,
That's
it is
what
with Sezzle. There is an option with Sezzle. Yes.
And if I'm correct, Sezzle gives you a couple different options as well. I'm not 100 on that, but I think they give you, a couple, like maybe pay it in a couple months or a couple more months or whatever. But I mean, it's pretty decent.
We're trying to get set up with a firm, I think it's called. For some reason, like when we applied a year ago, we got rejected with no explanation. It didn't really make any sense, but I think we're gonna try getting it set up because I think it allows people to finance more. But yeah, do we have any other questions?
Oh, I think that's about it for tonight.
Something else.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're clear.
Okay, well, I'm gonna toss it over to Spartan. Shout outs.
Oh, shout out to the 2 winners of the lights just now. That was awesome. That's gonna hopefully change your game. Shout out to everyone else in chat. This has been crazy seeing over 200 people in here. That's just like Marcus was saying, man. I can imagine sitting in a room with 200 people. That's like giving a, lecture at a college class or a speech somewhere. So shout out to everybody coming out every week to listen to us ramble on about cannabis and lighting. And shout out to GML, always makes it possible, and Charlene for making the thing work for us. Makes it really easy for me just to pop on. Much love and keep growing, everybody.
Nice, thank you. Charlene.
Okay, let's shout out GML tonight. Always having these shows, getting us all together, and all your cool giveaways, knowledge, everybody you bring on here. Shout out to chat, like Spartan was saying, and Bubble Man, everybody else. It's so cool that you guys come on here just to either talk shit about us when we can't hear, or watch us and enjoy what we're doing, or whatever. But you guys being here is everything, so definitely big shout out to you guys. I'm gonna shout out my girl Emily out there. Got much love for you. I can't do this as good as everybody else, but there you go. Shout out Eric and the puppies at home. Shout out Mandy. And let's see, Canna and Alicia, saw you tonight. Shout you out. Shout out hi again. You guys were here. And yeah, that's about it. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks. Well, guys, thank you all for coming along. Like I said, it's pretty crazy. We're down to 14 days, and it's like we're getting real anxious. I'm excited just to plant this next crop. AV Gas, Death Bubba, and what the heck is the other one? I can't even remember now. But
Apple fritter.
Apple fritter, thank you. I forgot. But the following one I'm pumped about because I got some special genetics I'm about to do there too, where I'm mumming them up right now. This next 2 weeks it's gonna be pretty much life-changing for us, I guess. Well, like I said, we got some pretty big plans on the 27th. It's not just with the UVC, it's with our new 2 fixtures, and it's also with a complete change of direction for Grandmaster LEDs. Like everything is about to change for us. So it's really, really exciting. Trying to think of what else. Well, like I said, this week Marcus will be up and running. I'll be at his place, and then as soon as I get back, I'll be up and running here. My tables came in, the clones are ready. I was trying to find a square pot. I don't want a round one for the sensor, So that's the one thing I'm going to track down a square. I think I'm going to try to track down some square pots.
Why are those so hard to find now?
The Bucket Company. They got the coolest square pots. And you don't have to buy their whole setup. You can just buy the pots and the screen bags that go in them.
The only thing is they got height. Like they have like clearance, right?
You
like
could take it. Well, I mean, if you're gonna set it up and run them automated, then yeah, they got to be a little bit. But you can adjust the legs. Like right now, I don't have mine set up for automation, and so we took the legs off, and they're just sitting right there on the ground. Yeah, I'll send you some pictures later.
Maybe I will have to get them. I know I'm sure they would send them out for me too.
They're great company to work with.
You can get the medical grade ones.
Yeah, I absolutely love working with those guys.
Yeah, well, I just need to get some square pots.
I'm pretty sure they're from Michigan, that company, honestly.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're over there.
You know they're legit if they're from Michigan, Jeff.
I don't really like fabric pots personally. Like I think they're nice, but when I'm trying to do my volume, like when I try to flush, it just comes out the sides.
Well, you don't have to put those. Have a screen, like a screen.
Yeah, it's a plastic square pot that hangs.
No, I know that someone else said that they had cloth. Someone else mentioned cloth pots.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, I see.
Like I like a cloth pot. I would take a cloth pot and then insert it in another one. Like,
yeah,
if I could.
I'd go like a 5 gallon. Do the 5 gallon.
I really enjoy. Well, it's not that I say enjoy flushing, but I enjoy having half the pot full and being able to fill the water all the way up to the top of the pot and just doing that rather than trying to fill up the top 2 inches a bunch of times. It's just so
Yeah.
freaking annoying.
Yeah.
And I use feeders the whole time, but until the flush where I will bust out the wand because I can tell you factually, if your goal is to break down the salts, the wand does a better job. It just does. If you're trying to push them out and wash them out. Been at that for a long time. Okay, well, next week we'll definitely be rocking. I don't know what we're doing. It's possible Life Cycle Botanics, maybe GrowLink. The following week, we know it's on. It's going to potentially be our biggest show ever. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people around the world watching. Okay, guys, thank you so much, and thank you for all the support on Instagram. And don't forget, I'm on Twitter, and if I could ever get over 1,000 people, I'd probably be a hell of a lot more active on there. I know you're allowed to post anything, and there's like no censorship, and once you get a busy enough account, it throws you out there. But I'm just completely buried still, so feel free to hit me up on Twitter and join our light giveaway of 1,000 followers.
Ooh, cool.
Okay, guys, we'll see everybody next week.
Bye.
Cheers.
All right, we're done. Oh, that was good.